Hello and welcome back to How to Fix a U-Boat. We recently spent a weekend with our favourite U-boat experts, Katie and Paul Patrick, from the U-995 Museum in Le Beau. I thought it would be good to give you a peek at the fascinating historic work they were doing with us. No, not that one. Oh God, where is it? Not this one. This kind of historical work.
Technical data stuff.
So who are our new friends? Well, Paul is both a naval officer and the first chairman of Freundeskreis U-995. They restored the only surviving Type 7 U-boat. And meanwhile, Katie is a marine archaeologist who also works on U-995, amongst many other historic vessels. So you might have noticed this is a longer video than usual because frankly, when you get people this knowledgeable and interesting in front of a camera, the last thing you want to do is cut them down to little 10-second sound bites. So hopefully you guys will get a feel for what it's like working on this project as we explore U-534's treasures. It's a remarkable place, isn't it?
Yes. Without any doubt.
It's a time capsule. And I'm quite sure every valve, every cock is in the same position it was when the engines were still running, when the crew was leaving the boat, when it sank.
I don't know if you've been inside many shipwrecks as a marine archaeologist.
Not in an U-boat.
No, not
Definitely not.
This is the only one.
It's very amazing to see that. So this time capsule, so well preserved. This part, it's the status as the crew leave the ship, so the boat. It's very interesting, and it's interesting to see the different materials. For example, here like this is destroyed, and there this one with the steel is absolutely intact. You can use it today. No.
Guten Morgen, Herr Kaloin.
Oh!
It's mine, Herr Kaloin.
Moin, Kaloin.
Moin, yeah.
Oh, they said my captain. Oh, that's quite sweet.
Wow.
God, even with this wide angle, there's not much room to film you up here.
Yeah.
I said there were a lot of colors. Here, for example, we have it.
Yeah.
There were codes on it, meaning what was it for?
Yeah.
Which part of the electrical system it was.
So as we move around, you can see the markings on the periscope are absolutely spot on. What's that say for? Don't know, you'll have to look at this.
And this here shows we do not have it on a Type 7. The diving tanks are opened, the hatches are open, then it shows if it's open or closed.
Okay.
That's
But this is all based on somebody flicking a switch rather than it being automated.
as I think it was operated by man.
So I check.
It was not automatically, but I can check it.
It's.
And we knew that they had color codes on them, showing what the fuse box was for, and so on. And here we can see that there's still some inscription, which means no, it's nothing you find on photos. Sometimes you could see, okay, it seems to be on black and white photos to be more colorful, and that's quite interesting because we have nowadays a view that the boats were like gray. Very grey, but in reality we find that there are a lot of.
Do you see that?
I will have a look.
Okay.
Inside. So you often had that in the switch boxes and so on. What's inside?
It's incredible that piece of paper's still stuck to the machine.
Yeah.
I wonder what's it stuck on with? What's it stuck on with? Is it clipped? The paper. Oh, you've got.
The paper is glued.
Oh wow! So it's permanent. That's incredible. That survived. I can see you're looking at these plates.
And here, for example, is a plate reading addition for the cooling water for prevention of frost.
Okay.
4 parts water, 1 part glycantine.
How does this feel in size compared to your Zentrala? Is it very similar, or is it noticeably
it's
larger?
bigger.
Yeah. It's a noticeable difference. It's Katie
Yes.
found now table.
Yeah, you can see it. You found that inside of the.
Yeah, so that's incredible. It's just incredible that some of this stuff is still stuck to the boxes. I can read Zentral on it, but beyond that, it just looks like a maze. The gentle hands of an archaeologist.
You tell me when I'm allowed to get up?
I'll do.
Maybe.
Boekraum. It's
Forward
Torpedo
torpedo room.
room, yeah.
Oh, it seems to be some kind of central conning tower.
Diesel motor.
It's a Verteilerkasten.
Yeah.
So it means it's a
Turm.
separator for electrical system to all rooms, because
Okay.
it's written electrical engine room, diesel engine room. Could not read that. Forward torpedo room, central room, conning tower.
Did you think that was just left as a reference, a quick reference for somebody?
Yes, we often had it inside of these boxes.
Yeah.
So when open it, you knew how everything was connected, because of course, even with all the training, you could not remember everything.
So if we unscrewed, say, this plainsman control here, if we're going to do that,
Yeah.
we might find a sheet inside it with how to...
for example, yes.
Yeah, that's it. Really
possible.
interesting.
There was a minimum high for submariners, but no maximum.
Yeah, I find that. I mean, I can barely stand in here with a hard hat on, but without it, I think I'd still struggle.
Yeah, but it's quite funny. They always think submariners had to be small to fit in, but with all the devices under the ceiling, you
Yeah.
had to have a minimum high to reach them. So you could not be too high to be a submariner, but you could be too small. And I really like here these extra steps.
The rungs,
You
yeah.
do not have them in U-995, and it's really narrow.
Oh, I see. So that's...
Yeah.
I assumed that was just standard, because it seems like such a sensible thing to put your feet into.
Unfortunately not. It were used for everything back then. So not only for painkillers, but also for other kind of medicine that had to be stored airtight.
Do you want to drink it, Mark?
I will not
No, me
try
neither.
it.
No.
Not yet. Give me another night in the pubs, and that's quite interesting.
Where was it, Katie?
It was here. On here.
Just on top of a locker.
I'm pretty sure that there was some kind of medical storage there.
Okay. You're supposed to be a pro at going through hatches. Right.
If we go to the boat again, never got hockey before.
Yes.
Not a good idea.
Thanks to the work of our asbestos experts, we can now go inside the diesel compartment without needing a big Darth Vader mask, which makes it a lot easier to hold a conversation.
Interesting thing, may you know it, every control has a different size and shape.
Yeah.
So that you could feel in pitch black darkness on which control you are and use it.
Yeah.
So submariners were trained to operate the boats even in total darkness, and therefore they were supported by having different shapes of them, so they could feel if they are operating the correct one. Holders for tools.
Yeah.
Here everywhere, and they're all gone.
Some of these might have fallen down, some of them might have been taken as souvenirs, and maybe some of them were out at the time of the sinking.
This is great.
What is it?
Um,
Little shelf.
Emergency light.
Ah,
So here was a position of a flashlight.
yeah, we've seen some of the lights, so we can put it back where it belongs. Like stirrups, really. So you pop your foot in there, and then you can get up to access the
things there, for example. because-
Einstiefen Abgasklapper backboard, whatever.
It's the fact that yes, the crew, as the crew was gone, they did nothing about that, and now you can check up the devices, and maybe the status of the devices can tell us something about the incident.
Oh,
That's interesting too.
It's like
Yeah.
studying a black box, isn't it? All the settings
Yeah,
are
yeah.
left out
Yeah,
as
right.
they were. I guess the difficulty would be any of the wheels. It's very hard to know which way they are, and I don't think they turn anymore. So, so all the trim
The
valves
wheels
and things.
maybe not, but maybe
Levers. Oh.
some other devices will do.
What are these throttles set at? Are they neutral?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say because normally the wheels are pushed and you could use them for speeding up. So I think the diesels were stopped when the boat was sinking, and you can see it on all 4 stations. So
Yeah, it's equal.
it's equal.
Yeah, on both sides.
It turns out that now we've removed the glass, the forward bulkhead of the electric motor room is the perfect puzzle to keep 2 U-boat experts busy. Casey's doing a giant jigsaw.
Yeah.
I think they might have expanded slightly over the years, swollen. That's why they all look a little too big.
I think so too. It's not the original form. See what I do drop.
Is that from this?
I wouldn't say that.
No?
No, it's too big.
But something similar to that, yeah.
And here's a lid on it, and it's closed with this mechanism.
Yeah.
So you pull it down and secure it.
I see.
And the lid is gone.
And the lid had a rubber
Yeah.
seal around it,
Yeah.
as we've seen, yeah. Do you know what the lids were made of, the covers?
Yes. Well, I would have thought steel, but maybe they used some other material because it's kind of interesting that the rest is still there in good condition, but there's nothing left of
The cover, unless when the rubber corroded, maybe the covers just fell.
Yeah, but,
Oh, that's still got a seal?
But they were here on them, so you could open it, but it would not fall out. You know?
Okay, yeah.
So that's okay. So on the other, you could say there was some marking, and here is it written by hand, 6 ampere.
Okay.
You could see many mechanisms were secured by being placed on this rubber. So when there was a detonation or something like that, they were shock-proofed.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Suspended. These racks are interesting, the cases.
Yeah.
I assume these are all parts cases.
Yeah.
Because we've got a bunch of the boxes with
Yeah.
the same numbers on.
Yeah.
In your boat, do you have cases in all of these racks?
No.
Or no?
They're all empty.
That's the first thing I've found that I'm quite proud of there. So we shall pop that back into place just as a reminder of what it is.
I'm pretty sure that there was a clock installed here.
Oh, I see.
Because these kind of
Oh yeah, there's
plates were normed. So I'm quite sure that here was a clock on a wooden plate.
It might still be down there somewhere, to be honest. So we assume this tool that Katie's found here would be a special tool for the motor room somewhere,
yeah.
just specifically. Are these brackets for holding tools as well?
Yes.
Yeah, what they were. I bet a lot of them are in people's collections now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too.
Do you know how the radiators worked, Paul? Were they waste heat from the engines, or?
Yes.
Cool
Yeah.
down water, right?
On Type 9, they had the possibility to use the warm water of the engines in a circulation system in the boat. On Type 7, they only had electrical heaters
Okay.
that were not used when the boat was under the surface because they need to save the engine.
That's literally like my house radiator in my flat. It's
Yeah.
so recognisable. But with and then there's a little valve coming off it at the end, going all the way over there for some reason. It shouldn't be dangling, so I assume it would be fitted
Here.
here. Ah, I see. So this is the shock mounts which go on there. This is the face of it. Would it be a dial face?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And maybe here with a light bulb so that it was illuminated from the inside. Just a guess. Maybe some kind of revolution counter.
It was here.
Okay.
I guess it was here.
Yeah, because there's
Abluftstrang and
two.
Zuluftstrang.
So yeah, but that
Those
I
are
would
these
say
two, aren't they?
for-
They're the
for
air
these
valves.
two air valves. But could you imagine, because we have here the same, that they had two of them there on both sides.
I guess we will find a piece of broken wiring somewhere as well for that then. What you expected?
Well, I expected to see a lot of rust, and that was fulfilled. But it's very interesting to see the insides in their original condition. Nothing was changed like in all the other surviving boats. So of course it's a wreck, but it's also a time capsule, and you could still find new things inside, like for example the medicine things we found and the paperwork. So it's still full of treasures, and it's amazing to see it from the inside in this condition.
Great to be in there. It's a unique archaeological source, and where do you have this chance to go on a wreck, an U-boat wreck, without being wet?
Yeah. It's the closest you can
Yeah.
get to deep sea diving without diving.
Yeah, we saw interesting things, and I think there's so much more interesting things to explore, and I'm very keen on and happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm really
great
glad.
experience, absolutely.
But now we're going to go and take a look at some artifacts. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm sure it'll be like kids on Christmas morning.
Yay! Let's go.
Paul Patrick is wondering which of our binoculars he'd take home for his collection if he could. Katie's.
No. Oh my god, I think we have something really special here. Yeah, it seems to be an older pair of Zeiss binoculars, but with the later added rubber armament, and this rubber was of very bad quality, so it disintegrated. And I think there are only two known pairs of binoculars with this rubber armament around them.
Can we make that free? Let's have a look.
This is something, it's for like the collectors.
Yeah, it's not
It's not like any kind of scientific
significance.
breakthrough, because
There you go.
there are a lot of photos, original photos of it, but no surviving pieces.
Well,
I found the CO's glass. Yeah, this is a
CO.
because it's a
Yep.
so-called user's
Commandant.
cap, and it's engraved. And on the other side there would be markings how the optic was, the doctrine,
I see.
how it was. So that
These have got a very heavy armor on them.
Yes. So strap, the attached user's cap, Benutzerkappe, and the rubber armament. It's still there.
So Paul spotted binoculars so rare there's only one other pair left in existence, and they were Captain Nolau's personal binos, as shown by the little Benutzer or user discs in the rain guard. But what else caught their eye in our archive? So,
Cigarettes.
Yes.
oh god! If you like them, we've got an actual tub of those. Hang on,
And the CO's have
along with the condom case. There's still seawater in the bulb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be the box for the for the sextant.
Yeah. Flat Hamburg.
Plat Hamburg is still producing, and the sector fits with it. To be the
What you call it sectors.
sectors where the light is visible. Quite interesting. When I received it,
Have you got the same pair?
and I
Oh, we missed one.
mine was in thick blick paint, and under this rubber there was a serial number.
Of course, the side that isn't perfectly
Yeah.
in great condition is the one that has the serial number on it.
And here you can see 7x50, the serial
Oh,
number,
wow.
and the maker's code BLC, which is the Zeiss company in Germany, which still produced high quality optics. I'm happy.
This was only the tiniest look at the huge collection of artifacts we've inherited. We'll be moving them to a larger facility to catalogue properly in the future, but to keep Paul and Katie busy, we decided to take a few boxes of paperwork and documents back to our underground bunker in Liverpool to see what treasures we could find. So Paul's been laughing. Are we looking at punishment cards here?
Yes,
By any
yes.
chance? Yeah.
Yes, and one of the engineers, of the high-ranking engineers. He would also be able to become officer if he shows good behavior, but he got punished because he played a forbidden fortune game, and the money he won was taken in and was given to the Winterhilfswerk, so a charity organization.
Oh dear.
They got numbers from 1 to 9. 9 is like becoming an admiral, and he has an 8.
Oh wow.
So that's really good.
What's his name? Is any of his family happen to follow our page? It's not really Schultz, is it?
It's Rudolf Eichler.
Rudolf Eichner. So if any of the Eichner family are watching, you can be proud.
He could be proud. He's a winning type.
Yeah.
In a fortune game.
He's smart.
He's smart, so he can camouflage his lazy behavior.
Where did you find my file? So Obermaschinist Rudolf Eichler was a bit of a character, but what else did we find?
So here's a list from the 19th of April 1944, and which draught was at different times at the boat. So maybe they were in harbor at this time, and because he wrote down at 8, at 10, at 12 the numbers of the draught at the bow, midships, and the stern. The toilet astern has to be checked. As you can see, it's not blacked out, so...
You never clean the toilet?
Yeah, no, it's checking it. It's in Ordnung bringen, German term, could mean to check it, but also to repair it.
I see. So the handwritten documents are particularly interesting. They give you more of a real sense of character for the people who lived and worked aboard the submarine. Okay. But one of the most interesting things we found was a booklet filled with little tear-off slips that were all hand-signed by Captain Nollau. So yeah, that's a Nollau on every single one.
Yes.
That's eingeschlagen. Oh, there's something. Oh, yeah. Look here.
Ah, one bottle of 4711.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
one bottle of Odol. It's for
Adult, mouthwash.
It's like.
It's a canteen list.
Yeah.
I see. It's like a requisitions kind of.
The ship's canteen.
Yeah.
And he signed everything. The guys were like written down their wishes for ordering, and he was like saying yes, you get it or no. Cologne water and shampoo.
Yeah.
And.
So they would have been given permission by Nollau and then given this slip to the quartermaster.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they could make their orders and then get it in the next harbor, for example.
I was going to say...
So, I have number 163 and that's my stuff.
Some of the stuff here I have seen the first time that they were on board, because we have a lot of the combat reports. We know that they had the regulations for all kind of the technical stuff and so on. But we do not have any kind of lists what they had on board in the office, what kind of administration they did on board, what was done in the flotilla. And this is a good example. This is for the food, a price list.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So when you prepared to go to sea, you had lists what has to be on board, but what could be kind of brought by the crew themselves. They had a budget, and then they could get stuff the crew liked. And there are price lists you ordered, and then...
Like on the U-boat game?
I
always thought that was a bit over the top. Like, you don't need to pay for bananas, but yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's really fascinating. I didn't know that.
Yes. We also did not know.
You didn't know? Oh, wow, that's game changing. We'll tell the developers of U-boat that they're actually accurate.
They had groups. And Group 1 were U-boat on war patrol. Group 2, other U-boats, like in training and so on. And then there are like the other class. And Group 6 are the units ashore, land-based. And then you have, like here, the lists, which group is allowed to order which kind of food. So, like, kind of standard stuff, mashed apples, five or six groups are allowed, but...
onion and kraut.
Onion and kraut, everyone gets it. But for example, Here we have sherries only allowed for U-boats. Sherries and cans.
So the U-boat, literally only U-boats on patrol got
Yeah.
pork with paprika. Is that hayne? No, that's chicken, isn't it? Chicken hayne.
Yes.
With noodles. Are these all tinned, would you say? Or-
Goose.
I would say
Yeah.
because I know
chicken and aspic.
The duck breast was delivered. There's a story of U-47. They got them, and then Kretschmer heard about it, got jealous, also ordered, but all the whole lot was bad manufactured, and when they dived and resurfed and so on, due to the pressure changes, the cans exploded.
Oh! But Kalbfleisch, is that veal? Is that calf?
It's calf.
With curried veal? That's a Nescafe.
Yes.
Is that where the brand came from?
Nescafe is the company, but I think this factory was in Kabul, and that it's near Eggenförde and Bravo.
Yeah.
Near, but not far away.
The
Scouse?
Lapskaus, it's typical North
Mash
German.
up from fish and meat.
Fish, beef, potatoes.
That presumably comes from the same word as the British Scouse, Liverpool Scouser. That comes from Lobscouse, yeah, so
Yeah.
that might be it. That's fascinating.
I've seen the regulation for U-boat cooks, but this is the first time I've seen the list of all the stuff they were allowed to order to supply their boat.
All the wines I like how the wine's in price groups.
Yeah, price groups.
Yeah. No wine is permitted for any of the serving Navy.
Yeah.
And yet, I can't remember how many bottles were found on U-534.
Yes, and
I think it's in the hundreds.
Same for the spirits.
No spirits.
I know they had one 10-liter bottle of rum for medical reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Medical
Only
reasons
medical,
could be
of
cold
course.
weather. But they did not bring the whole stuff on board to have enough space for bringing wine and other liquor on board. So instead of so it was very hard to get 1944 in Germany juice because it was very special.
Yeah, sure.
And they got the opportunity to get it, but did not use it
Because they swap for alcohol. My favourite story from U-505 was they brought hundreds and hundreds of eggs, and then apparently they went off the coast of Africa, and the heat was so bad that the eggs started going bad.
Yeah.
So they were allowed to eat. The ration was as many eggs as you want because we need to eat them.
Everybody gets crowd.
Oh, yeah. And this wasn't the only food-related paperwork that caught our attention. We also found a menu showing us every single meal the crew had eaten since 1944, all handwritten neatly in a spare logbook.
Here they used it for writing down the list of meals that were served during the week.
So the ship's position this week is tomato soup.
Yeah, kind of. So on Saturday they had for lunch tomato soup, beef, pudding. In the evening, it's quite hard to read.
What's particularly eerie is that the menu continues for a week beyond the date of the sinking. The ship's cook, Matrosen Obergefreiter Werner Arnold, planned a dinner of liverwurst, cheese and coffee for the 5th of May 1945, but of course fate intervened. And any one of the thousands of books, letters and papers in our collection could tell an equally fascinating story. But this video's long enough already, so we'll save that for another time. However, while we were studying this paperwork, Paul and Katie brought out a rather lovely surprise.
We have prepared for your hands-on station.
Oof.
Whoa!
It's a Mariner's jacket.
Oh, wow.
This jacket is made by our tailor in Kiel, and it's only done for our group, so they do not sell them or something like this. It's a large size, so you should make it the most non-American visitors. And it got the rank insignia of the Kapitänleutnant like Nolo, so maybe you would like to use it for that. So
Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure.
You have fun with it.
That's wonderful, thank you.
That's for us.
This is the coolest thing ever. Cooler than the cookies. Yeah, I should mention that they actually baked us some U-boat shaped cookies, and they were really quite delicious, unlike eating an actual U-boat. We did our best to entertain them as well with some good old-fashioned Liverpool hospitality.
Come together right now, yeah, over me. In a good way. You know when you get cooked through. I think I might have overordered here slightly, haven't I?
Nah, not with me around.
Very, very excited to be creating this partnership, but yeah, thank you very much. We have to.
So, Paul and Katie represent Freundeskreis U-995, and this literally translates as Circle of Friends. As I hope you've seen over the last half an hour, we're very proud to be a part of that circle, and we really have made new friends. Hell, Paul even admitted he likes English beer. But what does this collaboration mean for our project? It means we'll have some of the best experts in the world to help us understand, interpret, and preserve U-534. Sure, she's rusty, and okay, she's been cut into pieces, but the old gal still remains the only surviving U-boat in original condition. A time capsule that can teach us so much about the men who lived, worked, and died aboard these vessels. U-534 certainly hasn't given up all of her secrets. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.